Hey guys, it's Kelly Meyer, licensed and certified pediatric speech-language pathologist, and welcome back to the Speech Scoop. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I am sorry I have not been able to film a video recently as we just closed on our house and it is still under construction, so I thought I would be in my new house, in my new office, filming these videos, but I have not made it there just yet. And so that's okay though, we're gonna dive right into it. Make sure to find us on Instagram at the Speech Scoop. You can also find us on Teachers Pay Teachers to download all of our free resources, and I have a ton of other resources that just came out that were fall themed. Be on the lookout for our winter themed resources to help you work with your little one at home on your child or your client's speech and language skills, or really just overall development. Like, it never hurts, right, to do a craft or an activity that's fun, that's engaging, that your child can receive a lot of input and information from, and that learning opportunity while you're spending time together. Okay, also make sure to check out the bloomandshinegroup.com. This is a brand new parent-friendly, all-inclusive resource for parenting, for go-to information, just for tips and tricks for engaging with your child. Your child does not need to have any type of, disorder, difference, disability, neurological, or sensory difference to get the benefits of this information. This is just a collective of therapists, from occupational therapists to speech therapists, that I'm a part of, and I love working with these group of professionals. And so we just go over a lot of information just for overall parenting and development, and just trying to make it in the world, in today's world, as a parent, and give you guys some tips and strategies. Okay, so today, what I wanted to talk to you about, and why I have this guy here, and my favorite Melissa and Doug tunnel, which is on my Amazon storefront with all of the best gift ideas for your little ones based on your child's age or developmental level, sensory input needs, anything you want. It's on my Amazon storefront. I take a lot of time to go through everything and then pick out the most beneficial, open-ended learning opportunity toys for you guys, and add those to the list so that you can have an idea of what might be the best for your child, what your child is going to really thrive with, to play with. Okay, so that is on the link below, and now we can get into talking about gestures and overall pre-linguistic development. So I've talked a lot on this channel about pre-linguistic development, and so these are all the skills that are going to come before a child is ready to talk. Most of the time, whenever a child comes into my office, or whenever I see a child, the parent's goal is for them to talk, right? Yes, okay. But they have all of these other skills that we have to teach first, because what happens is, if a child starts speaking before they are developmentally ready to, then we have something called echolalia, or we have extended jargon, or we have a higher expressive language than we do a receptive language, and so that's not good. And so then we have to go backwards and really teach the understanding of the words that the child's already speaking, which is a little bit more difficult than it is to start at the beginning and teach receptive and pre-linguistic and pragmatic or social skills first, because that is the natural flow in development for a child, for their speech and language skills. And so Laura Mize has a fantastic chart, which I always linked at the bottom of my videos. It's just 11 prelinguistic skills, like reacting to stimuli in the environment, joint attention, having a longer attention span, imitating actions, and of course using gestures. So all of these things, and we know that gestures are one of the #1 predictors in a child's speech and language delay later on. We know that by 16 months, a child should be using 16 gestures, and children begin to use gestures as symbolic forms of communication between 8 and 9 months. And so we would be looking for a child to be showing or waving or pointing or clapping or giving something to you. And so these are all gestures that your child is able to do. And if they're not doing that, and you're like, uh-oh, my child's not doing that, that's okay. I'm going to go over some great sensory ideas that you can implement, some social games that you can implement for gestures. And really, this is where I love to begin, because this is definitely a predictor of your child's expressive language skills, because we know, based on research, the study in 2015, which I'll link below, but if a child is able to point to a dog, whenever you say dog, they point to the dog, within 3 months, we would expect that child to be saying dog. And so you can see it's a continuous development flow of speech and language skills, beginning with just reacting to environmental stimuli. So one of the best ways that I have noticed that a child's speech and language skills really start to increase or jump up is a lot of sensory input. So a lot of kids, and there's a million different things we could talk about sensory, and I am not a sensory expert. I know I was just taking or looking at taking the Inside Out course, which I will definitely link below because it seems like a fantastic resource for SLPs to learn more about sensory processing for all of our autistic clients who have sensory differences. And so it's really, really important to find out, does this child have low arousal? Are they high arousal? Are they hypersensitive? Are they hyposensitive? Do they have auditory processing differences? Are they sensory seekers? Are they sensory avoiders? Do they need certain types of proprioceptive input? Do they need certain types of vestibular input for their body to be regulated in order for them to process information in language skills? And so that is where really like the golden apple is. So I'm definitely trying to learn more every single day about sensory input and how I can use all of these different integrative techniques into my therapy sessions. And so one thing that I did today, I happened to work at a clinic, Professional Therapy Associates in Brick, New Jersey, where we have a wonderful sensory gym. And so I'm able to take my clients into the sensory gym and let them run around. We got on the scooter today, we got on the crash pad, and it's amazing to see a child who has not really been giving me engagement, interaction, a longer attention span, joint attention, which is super important because a child can't have a communicative intent with you if they're not able to connect with you in engagement and have a joint attention opportunity. And so that's the skill that I'm working on a lot of times. And so today I was able to get on the floor scooter and scoot back and say, wee! And I was able to keep the child's interest, keep that engagement the whole time. And even though this particular child did not imitate wee as I was doing a speech sound hand cue, and if you need those are on the Teachers Pay Teachers website, which are linked below. And even though the child wasn't able to necessarily imitate that, at the very end, the last time I did it when I was holding out for wee, I noticed that he had this communicative intent with his eyes. He was giving me a gesture like, go, because I wasn't going and I wasn't saying we. So I was waiting to see if he would imitate that word. And instead he did engage with me by giving the communicative intent like, okay, go. And so this is a fantastic skill. And then later on, he came out with a word like jump while we were jumping off of the sensory thing, the sensory stairs onto the crash pad, which was amazing because that was one of the first words that I've ever heard him say. And I felt like because he was able to regulate, we were able to work on these pre-linguistic skills, and then we really saw build in a language explosion during our sensory play and activities. So to work on gestures, definitely use some sensory integration techniques. And of course, everyone's thinking sensory bin. Sensory bins are great. I did do a how to make a sensory bin under $20 because I know that they can be super expensive, and I will put that link right here for that video so you guys can see how I made a sensory bin at the dollar store. So definitely able to do, to make a cheap sensory bin. And if you need little minis, the Speech Tree Co., you can get 10% off your order by using the code SPEEDY, and I will put that link down below because I love all of Rachel's little tiny mini objects. They are so cute. I use them almost every day. We freeze them in ice. I put them in water. I put them in dirt. Then we wash them. We create a little play routine. There's a million things that you can do. But then another thing that I want you to remember is whenever you're working on gestures like pointing, what you're going to do is you're going to model it for your child. You're going to pair it with a word, and you're going to make sure that that it's a meaningful exchange. So you have their attention. You're pointing to dog. You're pointing to cookie. You're pointing to whatever it is, cow. And I'm saying moo. And I'm drawing attention to my mouth whenever I'm saying the word. Maybe I pick up the cow, I put him next to my face. And then we can crawl on the floor and act like a cow. So anything that can be gestural, like putting your hands up, clapping. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. You can stomp your feet, ring around the rosy. We all fall down. If a child is falling down, that means that they understand the word down and then and then they are able to do the symbolic gesture of falling down. And so that is how we can clap, we can wave, we can blow kisses. Whenever you're saying say bye or wave bye, make sure you are saying bye. And if it's not really fun for your child, then they probably don't care. So if we're saying bye, if we're giving a high five, right? I say give a high five. Every time a child gives me a high five, I go, whoa, and I pretend to fall down, because that is how I'm going to keep their interest and make it fun, right? So that the next time someone says high five, they're more apt to do it. They're more willing to complete a fun, preferred activity instead of just being like high five, good job, or bye, like who cares, right? But if I'm like bye, and I have my affect going, affect is so important for keeping a child's attention. Also whispering. Whispering or speaking really loud, or I can talk like this. Just changing your voice, changing your affect, making things fun, completing social activities, putting a child up on your feet. I got a lot of comments that I didn't. Maybe this is just like a Georgia term, but if you play airplane baby, right? I put the child on my feet, their gaze is going to naturally fall to my face. And a lot of times that's how I build a verbal routine, like up, 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 down. It's a functional word. It's super easy to say. It's fun. It's motivating. You're giving your child sensory input. I love that activity. Something very, very simple like that. You don't need high-tech toys. I love this tunnel. I really do. It's a super fun tunnel. I like to create scavenger hunts with it. I put things in, have the child climb through. I climb through the tunnel. I show them how to do it. Kids need this model over and over and over again, and not a long drawn out sentence. I don't say, all right, everyone, we're gonna crawl through the tunnel. Let's go get all of our mini objects. Let's go get all of our foam objects. We're gonna crawl through the tunnel. We're gonna run to the refrigerator and put the magnets on. Way too many words there, okay? So I say crawl, 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 and I'm modeling crawling. Every time I say wave, I'm wave, 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 or blow kiss, mwah, 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 kiss, kiss cow, kiss chicken, whatever it is. So just make sure that you continue to show and model and make a meaningful connection with whatever it is, the gesture that you're trying to teach your child, like a high five, like a hug, like a blow kiss, like a wave, like a point, like a show. That is going to be the best chance that your child is going to imitate that symbolic gesture, meaning that they understand that this gesture is representing a communicative intent or a word. And then that is going to show us that they are more likely to begin imitating that word or to say that word within 3 months after they are doing those things. And so that's super exciting. I wanted to go over a couple more sensory ideas, like jumping on a mini trampoline. I hear that the Nugget couch is an amazing toy, an amazing resource. You could use that as a crash pad. You can make a fort with it. I know that those have been on high demand, so I'm not sure if you could get that in time for Christmas, but definitely keep that on the list. I have a ton of just little sensory objects, balls, things that I like to use every single day in therapy. I love this cow. Anything that bounces, little floor scooters are great. And so really just building engagement, pre-linguistic skills, and then you can tackle those gestures using sensory input, sensory integration, and proprioceptive and vestibular input, depending on your child's needs. And if you don't know, speak with an SLP who is trained in sensory processing, or speak with an occupational therapist, because that is their wheelhouse. That is definitely something that they address. And if you have any questions or comments, definitely leave them down below. And I'm excited to connect with you guys on social media. I do my best to respond to all of your messages. I do work a full-time job and an after-work job, and so sometimes, and then plus this, so sometimes I do get a little bit backed up, so please give me time. I also appreciate your support on YouTube, and let me know what my next video should be. You can send me a message on Instagram, you can comment on a post, or you can put it down below in the comments. If you need a video on any specific topic, this is how all of my videos are formed, based on your questions, comments, and ideas. All right, guys, so that's all I have for today, and I will see you next time.